The oldest known human burial is a 3-year-old child, curled into the fetal position in a shallow grave on the coast of Kenya, 78,000 years ago. A pillow of leaves or wood supported the child's head, which has long since rotted away, leaving the skull tilted downward. The child had unbroken collarbones, meaning someone tightly wrapped the body in an animal skin shroud before placing it in the dirt. Elephants will stand silently over the bones of dead elephants, touching them gently with their trunks. Chimpanzees will carry a dead infant for days, until the body literally falls apart. Animals grieve, but humans build architecture for corpses. We dig holes to put our dead inside, and we drop objects in the dirt beside them. We carve headstones and construct giant tombs to mark the spot. In Kafse Cave in Israel, roughly 100,000 to 120,000 years ago, early humans arranged 15 bodies into specific postures. One adult skeleton has its hands folded neatly over its chest. Another adult lies next to a child, with the adult's hands placed gently near the child's neck. Living humans placed red ochre clay and seashells next to the skeletons before burying them. Why do we feel the need to build a stage for a rotting body? Neanderthals developed this exact same habit independently. In a cave in northern Iraq called Shanidar, a Neanderthal skeleton lies surrounded by clumps of fossilized pollen. The pollen came from yarrow and cornflower. For a long time, people believed mourning Neanderthals placed spring flowers over the body to honor their fallen friend. A beautiful painting of ancient empathy. Now, evidence points to burrowing rodents or solitary bees tracking the pollen into the cave while building their nests. The flowers were probably an accident. They dug the trench deliberately. Neanderthals arranged the corpse and covered it with dirt to protect it from scavengers. Before digging graves became common, early hominins practiced funerary caching. They dropped bodies into natural crevices or shoved them deep into the recesses of caves to get them out of the sun. And they often took the bodies apart first. Ancient human bones from caves across Europe carry deep V-shaped cut marks from stone tools. Living humans stripped the muscle and skin off the bones of the dead. They cracked open the heavy leg bones using large rocks to scoop out the marrow inside. They might have eaten the meat for calories, or they might have simply cleaned the bones to prepare them for a ritual. The final product looked exactly the same. Bone. Just a pile of clean, defleshed bones left in the dark. Early humans treated the skull differently than the rest of the skeleton. They often detached the head and placed it in its own isolated spot. At Jericho, roughly 9,000 years ago, people took the detached skulls of their dead and turned them into art. They molded wet plaster over the bone to recreate human noses and cheeks. They pushed cowrie shells into the eye sockets to look like open, staring eyes. The plaster face stares blindly back at you. They painted hair onto the plaster using dark earth pigments. They painted faint red lines across the cheeks to mimic living skin. Maybe they believed the spirit lived inside the head. Or maybe they wanted to keep their ancestors watching over the living room. Where does a behavior this strange actually begin? Deep inside the Rising Star cave system in South Africa, there's a chamber accessible only by squeezing through a pitch-black chute 7 inches wide. A modern human has to exhale just to crush their ribcage through the gap. Bones of Homo naledi litter the floor of this hidden chamber. They lived roughly 300,000 years ago. They were hominins with curved fingers and a brain 30% the size of ours. No stone tools, no cave paintings. But they dragged their dead through absolute darkness, down a treacherous vertical shaft, just to leave them in one specific underground room. It required them to pull heavy, limp bodies through a maze of sharp rocks in complete blackness. They dropped body after body into the same spot. They did this over and over again for generations. A brain the size of an orange was enough to recognize that a dead body demands a specific place in the dark. If a creature with a brain that small was disposing of its dead in the depths of a cave system, then the instinct to honor the dead is far older than we assumed. Your ancient biology simply can't bear to leave them behind.